third king on the board. Ivey with quads.
They just can't be a 10.
So you might have fucked up.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
What happened to the cash game?
Nice, yo, you wanna jinx me?
You're lucky.
What's up, poker fans? Welcome back to another Black Cash Poker video, where we bring you the best highlights and moments of the most entertaining poker events. Before getting into it, we would like to ask you guys to hit the like button and subscribe if you enjoy our videos, as your support is allowing us to continue posting videos consistently.
Now I understand. It was confused.
Ivey completing King Queen of Hearts in the hijack. Sergi with 10-9 in the cutoffs does the same, and Michael is going to check the very garbage looking Ace-8 on the button. But it does have that all-important position. King 7-6, couple of clubs. Soyza with, well, backdoors. Sergi with the gut shot to the nuts, but Phil leads top pair, Queen kicker and backdoor hearts. And it is Michael Soyza who's going to snap at this when check turn. Seems reasonable. 6-7. The lowest cards in the deck suit the man who checked back more than the guys who limped in. And he has a lot of cards he can continue to barrel on. I bet just 70k has been called by Ivey. And so I thought about it for a moment, maybe trying to snap an 8 off. Well, gin card for Ivey. He checks, and decision for Soyza now, of course. He knows Phil can have a king when he check calls flop. He can also put him on some draws. The issue is, he has the ace of clubs and he has an 8, so he blocks the draws, waits Ivey back towards the pairs. And also, he's still ahead of those draws. So he does check back now, things get interesting. Third king on the board, Ivey with quads. Now, really hard to imagine Phil's got a 7 or a 6 from the hijack. He can have the case king for sure. Well, he goes for a big bet in the end, 300. Perhaps hoping that Soyza had a hand like 9s or 10s.
450.
Raise 450.
All in.
All in.
Well, not the nuts. I did nuts like we had the last time. I lost 2 quads. And I get some straight flushes.
Nut flush is quads.
I'm talking about the hand the other day. Sam and Ivey played 3-handed. Ivey with quad aces, Sam with the nut flush. It was a brutal one. Speaking of bad situations, Phil finds himself in one here. Queen jack of diamonds completes. Soyza finds queens in the cutoff. And has increased that chip lead ever so slightly after the last hand. Raises up just 200k more. Phil is going to hang around here with Queen jack of diamonds. And wow, flops a flush draw on ace a7. He does check it to Soyza, who do a little bit of both there, I think, with queens. A better candidate for a bet, and that's what he's done. Flush on the turn. Looks like he's going to come out with a lead. This, of course, is going to make Michael fold this hand, you'd imagine, but it'd be very hard for him to fold an ace. Oh, Michael thinking long and hard about this one, but it's really hard to put Phil on too many bluffs at this stage, and if you are getting bluffed, you just got to let that one go.
Telling you to drink it.
Yeah, I gotta get rid of that.
Sam completes 7-8 clubs in the cutoff. Ivey with ace-8 diamonds on the button. Elects to see 3 cards. And they're a pretty good 3 for him. Flops gut shot draw and the nut flush draw. Soyza queens. Prepare open ender and of course blockers to the straight. Greenwood, anyone to miss this board?
If, you know, so it can work.
I doubt.
You don't think with the, if Paul can get the testing kits that he wins?
I spoke with Paul about this. He said he doubt either. Like, don't know. Like, depends how the wire is going on.
Right. It's probably just going to be, what do you
Soyza does make the straight on the turn after betting.
Don't know. Maybe just cash it.
Ivey picks up a pair, but not one he wanted to see. Still though has those diamonds.
I left in.
Soyza decides to check now.
Oh, nice, yeah.
I think Phil will be happy to check this one back.
Not big fans of tournament.
Just going to face a check call a lot of the time from
Maybe fishes.
2-pair plus, and that might get him in a little bit of trouble, because he may well think he's just overtaken exactly those kind of hands. King Jack, King 10,
I would much
Jack 10.
prefer to be like a cash grinder bust. Like Oregon. I don't know if you've heard of Oregon. It's got to be a smaller state.
Ivey wastes no time in checking back.
But there's a couple of people in
Sees his man was trapping him.
All in?
He does decide to push all the chips across the line. And well, Soyza on the button. I think he's going to call this one for $1 million.
2 elbows.
Had same.
Actually?
King queen.
Me too.
Type fold.
I had jacks.
Saga did indeed have King Queen as well.
No, then we.
You flop the jack.
They just can't be a
Yeah, let's
10.
fold
They
the
just
king.
can't be a 10 for the 8, 6, 7, 8, 9.
There's a spicy flop.
I had to.
Spicy.
King,
Nothing.
Queen, Jack. Set for Soyza, top 2 for Greenwood.
I had a king. That's the truth.
Do I want out?
I have king queen.
Put an ace out there.
No, you didn't.
Ace and 10. Chop chop. Correct.
Okay, 10.
No, it's not alright.
Oh.
10
hands are
for the
that?
chop.
No sixes?
have a
No
chop.
sixes? No aces?
I had a 10.
I had ace.
Insurance?
Phil's chirping you over there.
I did have I had a king and a 10. That's what I had.
Phil's killing me over here.
I wasn't lying. Greenwood out in 7th. Not able to find that one remaining queen that we now know is in the deck. Phil with ace 10 of hearts in the hijack's going to make it 300. Sergi with ace queen behind is going to jam.
All in.
Phil asked for a count. Look at the news. It's 960 more. Sergi will take it. 2.6 million chip pot. Ten, 9, 7. Ivey takes the lead. Sergi needing a runners or a queen. Runners, of course, a lot more likely in this game. Well, those aren't the runners he's looking for. Sergi reduced just to those 3 outs. And Phil ends up with 10s full. Lee will check his option, King 10. Jack 10-10 flop. Fireworks incoming. Soyza trip 10s and 9, but Lee out in front with that king kicker. Soyza bets 120 into 180. Lee, surely just going to call this bet. Has straight draws, flush draws, some Jack X. It's going to call this bet. Well, ace not a bad card for Soyza. King Queen now beats him, but other than that, nothing changes. Ace Queen, Ace King, Ace Jack would have raised pre-flop. Probably King Queen as well, so this 300k bet's gonna feel pretty good. He's hoping he's up against a hand like King Jack, Queen Jack. I want to stick around here. Bingo on the river for Soyza. He makes that boat. Again, 7-8, Queen 8 now get there, but that's unlikely. Backdoor hearts, of course, possible. Jack X of hearts, 100% plays this way. Thank you. Here. Some bluffed hearts that get there.
650.
There he goes, 650 into a little over $1 million. And this one not panned out the way Lee expected. And that's what he does.
You were 10 as well.
Bad beat on the river. Gonna raise it up, 800k. And he's gonna walk into it here. Soyza moves it in.
Ace Queen. Ace 7.
Seth has committed himself.
I'm sorry. I have to reel
I
for
think
him.
this is mine.
And all of a sudden, we do have an all-in and a call. 4 million in chips in the pot. Would be right back in the mix, looking for a 7. Well, that not a flop that gives him any excitement.
All right.
Well, drawing dead for the win.
Well, I've 10 before.
10 for the chop.
Good luck, guys.
Not to be Seth Davies. We had a title still here this week. Departs in 4th position.
If you guys would like to see more final table highlights from the biggest events in the world, make sure to subscribe and turn on post notifications, as we do our best to provide highlights on a weekly basis. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of the video.
So 1 p.m. Central Europe. For now, we get to watch Ivey in action in short deck. He limps the hijack, Ace King. Lee checks his option. 10-9 of hearts. Yeah, well, flopper gives a little something to both. Ivey top pair.
Bet 150.
Oh, that is a bingo turn for Phil. Top 2 gives Lee gut shot draw and a straight flush draw. As well as, of course, still that 1 pair, although that holds little value at this stage. Phil, aware of this board texture. Bet's big, 400. Lee can't do anything but cool with his hand. Brick on the river. Pot stands at 1.1 million. Phil feels very comfortable about his hand. Aces raise pre, kings raise pre, queens raise pre. Only hand he loses to here is Jack 10, perhaps nines. So he goes big, hoping to be up against weaker 2 pair. Unfortunately for him, it was the missed draw he was up against. Lee limps queens. Ivey's going to find ace queen of clubs. Well, this is sure to see an all in. Phil raises it up once more. Lee, the shortest stack, the least to worry about. Should see him move this in, and he's going to be in good shape to double up. Small favourite.
How much is it?
2. Yes. 1.59.
Oh, it's wrong. Is it?
Yeah, it's
Want to correct it?
1.56.
Yeah,
He can't count. We already know that.
1.56.
right.
What is it?
I'm right. 1.5 right? 1.59.
Oh, you are right. He can count.
Yes.
Oh, because you have 30. Yeah.
Finally, the first time.
Well, glad that's all figured out. Phil says cool. As you see, this one pretty close to a flip.
Oh, scary. Oh, I got an ace.
Ace queen is stronger than
Ace 9, yeah.
Ace queen is stronger than queens. This has been like happened to the cash game. all the
Nice.
time.
You don't jinx me.
Well, Jeff
Should we do twice?
will tell us that queens are always going to win here.
Oh.
And
Can
wow, that is a good one for Phil. He flops Broadway with the royal flush draw. Hard to see Lee getting out of this one.
And then the sweat off.
How about a queen?
You don't want to
Make it interesting.
No, you blocked the too many club.
Lee wants an ace for the chop. That's all that will do it at this stage.
GG.
Well, as it's heads up, Ivey versus Soyza.
GG.
Oh wow, there it is.
You're lucky. What? You're lucky to have a chop.
Yikes. Ben.
Lee and Ivey limp in. Soyza 10s on the button. Here we go. He has this big stack. What does he want to do with it? So let's raise it up. 500k.
Well,
Well, Lee, not show much fear.
Tell me how much, please?
Limp jams his suited ace.
Call.
He does make the call.
no,
Wait, he likes hearing that.
you're very good.
No pair. It's good news. Soyza,
Hold. Short deck.
60% favourite.
Hold. Long deck. Yes.
Phil,
You gotta say you might have fucked up.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
an interested observer.
Hold. Long deck.
He wants the hold. And we'll see him get heads up. If not, I believe Lee will take the lead here. And ace, jack 8. He's taken the lead in the hand.
9 for
Not
a
only
sweat.
long deck.
No. 9 for a sweat.
A lot of cards being a draw for Soyza. But not one of them.
Still 2 10s.
Just the 2 outs with 1 pull.
My insurance? I definitely need insurance.
Jack also can, right? Jack I win as well. No, Jack you
No,
win.
base.
Oi.
Queen, no use. Richard
2
Young
point what?
2.59.
comes to have a look. And
Yep.
there you go. Look at this.
Two.
The stacks
Six,
now.
five,
6.5 for Soyza, 5.3 for Lee. So a big chunk.
400, please.
Lee raising, getting a couple of callers, and Ivey smashes this one. 10-8-8, top boat. And maybe a spot Lee decides he has to continue. He has aces, he has kings, he has queens that the others cannot have. With that range advantage, it's going to bet 400. Of course, Phil's just going to call here. Question is, what happens down the streets? But Ivey just doesn't have an 8 here, calling that raise pre-flop. Lee can give him credit for a 10, but that's about it. Well, hits a queen now, so this changes things a lot. Lee doesn't want to bluff now. Thinks he has the best hand. Checks, and it's a weird spot for Phil. He doesn't really have many strong hands. Bets 800.
How much playing?
Probably not a bet Lee was expecting to see.
2.5 behind.
$1.8.
Right, thanks.
More.
I think Phil can have Jack 9 calling 400 pre-flop.
All in.
Oh, there you go. Just thinks he has the best of it too much. And somehow Ivey has about the only hand that's better than ace queen in a set of 10s for top boat.
Okay.
No change on the river. Ivey, the new chip leader, up to 7.3 million. Well, they're all having a go with this lead. Let's see what Ivey does with it. Soyza, queens and hijack. Looks like he's going to go for the limp jam.
All in.
Oh, looks like he's going for the limp call. Lee moves in, Jack 10 suited. Ivey folds. Soyza snaps. And well, once more, Lee is all in at risk. How will he fare this time?
It's probably the worst card.
Yeah.
I'm gonna run to the bathroom.
You better hope I win, bro.
Such is the life of Phil Ivey. He's not hanging around to watch this one. Says, I'm off to the bathroom. King, 10, 6, 1 spade. Well, there it is. Jack on the turn. Puts him in the lead, but you see, still an underdog. Soyza can hit a king, 6, ace, queen, 9. One more time. No, is the answer. This time, the river doesn't cooperate. Super high roller bowl. That is underway in the very same room. That tournament has now started, of course. So he's a limped in ace king. Misses, but has equity. 2 overs, a gut shot, backdoor clubs, bets. Ivey, of course, gonna call with top pair. Six on the turn. Not a card Soyza was looking for. One of the worst he could see, really. Perhaps he's going to fire again. As you see, against the hand he's up against. Still has decent equity, so if he can make a jack fold, it'd be a very worthwhile bet. There you go, he's sizing up a little bit, 375. And as I say, this would make it hard for Phil with a jack. Of course, with a queen, you won't be going anywhere. 9 in his hand, not ideal. You'd want Soyza to have a hand like 8-9 or 10-9 to make this bluff. Wow, 10 on the end. Does bring diamonds. Not too concerning. Soyza with Broadway. 1.1. Now, Phil has the 9. Phil has a diamond again. Not the worst candidate to run a big bluff, although it's not as good as the last one. fault him for that call.
Good hand.
Lucky and river.
It's the best one pair I think he can call with, to be honest.
Are we 1 and 2 now?
Effectively play like blinds when you get heads up in short deck. With the button having all the power. Well, the button has all the power in this one. Phil flops a straight 10-8-7. Michael with a gut shot, couple of overs. Ace. Wow, this gives Michael some more outs. A king brings Broadway. And 9 gives him that straight to the queen. So now betting 600 into 8. And well, for Michael, albeit short leg, albeit a heads up, it's never reassuring to be drawing. If you've got a jack and you block the nuts, sometimes you run a bluff. And he's gone 2 million. Throws in another time card. So he's a stoic, not giving anything away. Phil desperately trying to get something out of him. You want to get it in now, make him call off with any combo draws he might have. Shot to take a huge lead.
I'm all in.
He does move it in. And Soyza feels sick. All his outs aren't even clean. But maybe he thinks this is a good spot to try and gamble against the GOAT. But no, he does okay. She comes to the right decision. It was just a little bit too much. I think quite. Phil completes King 9. Michael checks 9-6. Ace 10-8. Gut shot for Soyza. May want to bet this. Does decide to check it back and bink. And bink in a big way because Phil also holds a 9. And doesn't decide to bluff. But it's hard to imagine Phil's not going to put chips in this pot. Bets 3/4 pot. And I was going to say, if Phil checks this, he's not checking to call it. He's checking to raise it. It's at 1.2 million into a range of Soyza that doesn't have too many strong hands. It expects Michael to have bet the strong hands on the flop. Doesn't expect him to have 9 jack, that's for sure. Can, very outside chance, have 9-6, but may have expected that to bet as well. So thinks he's at best a pair and a straight draw. With that in mind, this one should just be a call for Michael. Has position. Let Phil continue this line. And it looks very much like a draw or pair and draw for Soyza. The river becomes a brick here. Phil's going to do some damage. Well, maybe today is Phil's day. The river comes a jack. They're going to chop this one up once again. Phil checks, and I like this with the range. When he check raises turn, he has a lot of strong hands. That card is really bad for him, and as I say, a lot of Michael's range would be 9 in a pair. So he's going to check to him and allow him to bluff in some situations. Phil has a lot of strong hands.
2 million.
2 million bet.
There's 2 million.
6.
Gets snapped.
Queen 9.
I thought it's possible.
No, I'll raise you. Come on, I have the nuts. Oh.
Yeah, you would raise. I think we did, but still.
Oh, Michael, unlucky there. I think a brick on the river would have seen a large bet from Phil. And together, that hopefully the stream is all good now. Believe it's been fixed. So we should be good from here on out. As we look to crown our final champion of the Super High Roller Series. Phil, wow. He flops a flush draw when Michael flops bottom 2. He also has that 7 in his hand. Gives him some straight draws by the back door. Bets 300 into 480. Now, this is a weird spot for Michael. Has bottom 2, kind of a hand that needs protection. You want to raise your strong hands, but at the same time, this one just doesn't play quite as well. Some straights are completed, and hands like the ones Phil has have a lot of equity. Phil is going to check. Surprised, thought that's one of the hands Phil could continue firing with, but perhaps worried that Michael might have a hand like Jack 10, 8 10, 9 10, Queen Jack, all going to hang around. Rather keep this pot small, get to the river with his flush draw. River is an ace. That's a pretty good card for Michael. Ace Jack, of course, a concern, but I think that barrel's turned still. Pardon me. Sorry, guys, it's getting... it's a long day, of course. Only 7 now straight. Phil, river's the straight. I'm back with you now. Me and the stream both need a little reset. Bets 800 into 1.1. Had a really bad card for Michael. Hard to see many hands you beat. 9, 10, Queen 9. Missed flush draws, of course. He's a good job of using position. Just called with bottom 2 on the flop. Play that one down the street in position. And got one of the worst runouts you can see. Unless you had to go 1.2. So you want to do the same with your bluffs. Going to be slipping further away now from Soyza. Queen rolls off. Michael, go a little larger now. He knows Phil has a hand like the one he does, or a king. Targeting that range, you're going to go bigger on these dry boards.
900,000.
There you go.
900.
He goes 90% pot. Jack 10-6. Michael with the open ender. Does check it to Phil. Phil checks back his 6. Ace on the turn. This board a little bit more Michael than it is Phil. Michael having completed. Phil declining to raise.
$900,000.
Big bet. Gets it done. But he has a very nice hand here. King, Queen of Hearts on the button. We'll be seeing this raised for sure when it's limped to him.
Raise. 1 million. Fold.
Bingo flop for Phil. Jack 9 of hearts gives him a gut shot straight flush draw. Michael, second pair and a gut shot draw himself on a board that, wow, he's just moved it in.
Like a pair and a gut shot.
A pair and a gut shot. Well, you're ahead, but you're a big underdog. Phil Ivey with a myriad of outs. 70%. Not the hand Michael wanted to see when he was called. He'd take his chances against a big pair,
I need
but not against those 14 outs.
with no heart.
This same cut with Wai Kiat again.
Oh, Jack on the turn. He's halfway there, and it is now a straight flip.
Huh? Yeah, it's good.
Phil, so close the other day. Needs this to have a chance to win this title. There it is. Nut flush on the end.
He hit flush.
And, well, by far and away the biggest pot of the tournament. 13 million chips.
All in.
Phil does move it in.
Dun, 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 dun.
And he's not going to get action from King 7. Oh, he's thinking about it. See, against a hand like he's up against, he still has over 40% equity. And so he does decide to gamble. There we go. He knows Phil can have Jack 10, Queen 9, hands like this, and he says, you know what, King High, let's go. Phil Ivey with the slender lead, holding Ace 6 of hearts. Trying to avenge his bad fortune from 2 days ago. Wow, a huge flop for him. King, Jack 8, 2 hearts, but it is Soyza now,
It's always spicy. Isn't it?
who again is in a straight 50-50, holding that top pair. Phil says it's always spicy. He just won a 50-50 a moment ago. Heading to the river now, a 2-to-1 dog,
Yeah, more outs.
but he does pick up. Some extra outs. Doesn't need him. Makes a flushy yet again. 2 nut heart flushes for Phil Ivey. In the space of a few hands. Means we crown our final champion.